what scares the Jets right now is, let's say Aaron Rodgers gets them to an AFC title game next year. They lose to the Kansas City Chiefs or the Buffalo Bills, whoever it is, and he decides to retire next year. So that means because the deal says the Packers would get a first-round draft pick if Aaron Rodgers gets them to an AFC title game, the Jets lose Aaron Rodgers in the offseason, so now they have to look for a quarterback, and they don't have a first-round draft pick. So then they're going into the offseason next year kind of screwed because they put all their money in Quinn Williams. They put all their money into certain players that they signed last offseason and this offseason, and they put themselves in a bad predicament because then they have to go searching for a quarterback and they don't have a first-round draft pick. And that's what the Jets are scared of. It makes sense to give them 2 second-round draft picks, one this year and one next year. No harm, no foul. The Jets don't have a third-round draft pick because they traded it for Elijah Moore to move up to get a second-round pick so they can give one of them away to the Green Bay Packers. And next year, they have all their picks, but if they lose a second, and let's say, like I said, Aaron Rodgers retires, they're screwed because they're going to be, and I don't believe if the Jets are good this year and they go to the AFC title game, they're going to be drafting in the high 20s. So they're not going to get a good quarterback unless somebody falls to them or they decide to trade up and trade a piece to get a quarterback of their liking. So the Jets put themselves, and everybody keeps saying Zach Wilson. I don't know if Zach Wilson will be ready again to take the helm if Aaron Rodgers retires next year. So the Jets and Joe Douglas are trying to protect themselves and trying to negotiate a deal where it makes sense for both parties. Now, reports believe that Joe Douglas might want some draft picks back from the Packers with the unknown of whether Rodgers will play in 2024. It is all in on Aaron Rodgers. The Jets are still one of the running favorites in landing Odell Beckham. I also believe that the Jets know there is no other team. There is nobody. There is nobody in the AFC that is interested in making a trade for Aaron Rodgers. Tennessee, if they trade Tannehill, if they don't, they're not in the runnings to do anything next year. They're going to rebuild. That's why they're interested in trading Derrick Henry. And they don't want to give him an extension of a contract because he's going to be very expensive. And you look at, obviously, the quarterback position in the AFC, it is cluttered with talented, young, and veteran quarterbacks. Sean Payton is now in the AFC. Now you have to contend with the Broncos and Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. And I believe Russell Wilson will have a better year this year than he did last year. Sean Payton is an offensive genius, even though some people say that he does not like Russell Wilson, had no interest coaching Russell Wilson at any part of his career when he was a coach over there with the Saints. I don't believe that. He would not have taken the job if he wasn't interested in coaching Russell Wilson. But there is a foregone conclusion. He will be a Jet, one way or another. I know Jet fans don't want to hear that. I know Jet fans are sitting here crying, why isn't he on this roster? Does it really matter? Does it? He's hanging out in L.A. He's hanging out in Las Vegas, wherever he is hanging out right now. Does it really matter if he's on the Jets roster or if the Jets introduce him as the new quarterback for the New York Jets? It doesn't matter. If you read anything on social media, there are more Jet fans interested and excited for Odell Beckham coming to the Jets than Aaron Rodgers. I don't understand why. Odell Beckham could hurt that locker room. He really could. Now, I believe he's older and more mature, so maybe him going to the Jets and being one of the leaders helps Garrett Wilson turn into the star that everybody believes he's going to be, and maybe help some of the younger players that the Jets the Jets have, like Denzel Mims. So it could benefit the Jets, but it could also hurt the Jets. And bringing in Hardman, he's a good player. Why do you need so many weapons on this offense when you have guys like Conklin and you have guys like Hardman and Garrett Wilson? You traded Elijah Moore, you take the cancer out. Why would you add another cancer to the locker room? It doesn't make sense. And Jet fans, they're all excited because you're hearing that Odell is pushing more towards the Jets than the Giants. The only reason why he's interested in the New York Jets is because of Aaron Rodgers. He does not like this organization. He really doesn't. I'm going to say this as a Jet fan, a lot of NFL players don't like the Jets. They don't like how this organization is run. Now, Joe Douglas has changed that a little bit over the last couple of years. But it's still the same old Jets. Until the Jets actually get into the playoffs and win a playoff, nobody cares.